Hello, gorgeous girls. Happy Thursday. If you have not tried this Artistry lip gloss, this was in the giveaway. Jessica, you will be receiving one of these. This is amazing. It's one of my favorite lip glosses ever. I have it in a few colors, and what's really cool is that it has a light. Check this out. Check this out. So I'm just giving a plug because there's certain things that I am obsessed with, and I like to share what those things are because I'm like not really a makeup girl. Like I'll throw on some mascara. And fun fact, did you know I actually have permanent eyeliner? My mom tattooed eyeliner because she used to be a tattoo artist, like not tattoos, but like makeup artist. And so I have permanent eyeliner, and it's been over 10 years, and she's still blown away by how it still is there. So all I use is a tinted moisturizer, and then I use mascara. Sometimes I'll put eyeshadow on, but hardly. I don't know why this is turning into a makeup tutorial, but that's just where we're headed, okay? And then I do a lip gloss. And so I used to do, and actually I still do. I still have these. Let me show you. Got my another obsession, my Aloha bag. This live is not, you know what I love? I love that I just show up because I have like a plan, but sometimes I let things flow, okay? So I was just putting on my lip gloss, and then it turned into this tutorial, and now we're just kind of doing a few of Gina's favorites. So that's where we're starting, okay, girls? So an Aloha bag, I love Aloha bags. Especially if you're in a beachy area, they are waterproof, and I apparently need to get a new one because I use it so much. So yeah, that's on my list. So lip gloss, I love the NYX lip glosses. So I still have these, and I have these in my bag on hand at all times. But I was turned on to these Artistry lip glosses, and I love them, okay? So they have like this little light. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it, but like they have this little light. So when you pop it open, there's like a light. You can't really see it, but it's there, okay? And then there's this mirror. So the light is not just because it's cute. There's actually a mirror, so you can actually like look here with your little light. And it's really funny because I was actually in Tennessee at a bar with a friend, and I was using my lip gloss, and I just kind of thought the light was cool. Like, I'm like, oh, cool, it like lights up. And then she was like, Gina, you know that's a mirror, right? And it looks like this. And I was like, no way. She's like, yeah, you peel that. So I was like mind blown, literally in a bar, and I was like, no way. Now it all makes sense. I just thought I had a really cool light. So see if I like peel this back. It's a mirror. Is that not the coolest thing ever? I have to hide these from Nicolette. So anyways, fun fact, next time you put in your order for your supplements, your protein pods, just treat yourself to a lip gloss. This one is pink sugar, and then I also like this one, which is kind of like a juicy peach. Juicy peach. Maybe this will be your squat challenge reward. Juicy peach, okay? Because everyone deserves a juicy peach. Okay, so that was fun. Now, how's everyone doing? Pop in. Hi, Jessica. Yes, you will be getting a juicy peach. I don't know which color you're getting, but it's gonna be good. Hi, Michelle. Great to see you. And whoever pops in. So a few things today. I wanted to kind of like a little bit of just a conversation today with like a simple finisher simple recipe finisher. So first we want to talk about, wow. So my kids went back to school. I've been talking about that a little bit if you're in the squat channel, and it actually really aligns with our mantra of this week of the calm in the midst of the chaos. And it's crazy because 3 days ago I was feeling like a hot mess. And truly it was only because I just, it's just kids are going back. I mean, if you kind of get it, like things are kind of crazy. I've got a dog, I've got this. I'm like trying to get kind of craving my structure again. And even though I have structure, it's like loose structure, but I kind of like my get up a little early, do my thing. But in summer, I can't resist the summer. So I'm leaning into it and I'm being flexible and it's all great. And then by the end, you're like, okay, we're ready. So 3 days ago, I was like hot mess express, just feeling just like, I just needed, my car was a mess because, we apparently had a storm, so I didn't get my car, like just all the things. Okay. I just kind of just felt like a hot mess. I was still showing up for myself, but just kind of internally feeling messy, like the chaos was inside. And then the kids go back to school, and it literally was like the calmness again. And it's just so amazing how in the blink of an eye things can change for the good, or change for the not so good, or change for the chaos, or change for the calmness. Like it literally just kind of ebbs and flows. And so but I want to share what I did. So we'll talk about the mantra in a minute, but I want to share what I did to set myself up for success, because I'm always blown away by my own magic. Just gonna say, like every time I do something and I execute it, and I'm like, it works. It works. Imagine that. What I teach, it works. And because I practice it and I get to execute it, and I've been executing it over the years and years and years, it's just like it works, right? It's like you start to see these trends of things that actually like bring you peace again, or like kind of make you feel like you're back in control. So I was like, okay, school's starting tomorrow, so this is what needs to get done, because I was sleeping in. I was like, everything was just getting pushed a half hour. And like a half hour makes a big difference. Half hour, like your workouts get pushed, your cardio gets pushed, like everything's like pushed, right? Like before you know it, you're like, it just gets pushed. So I was like, okay, this can't happen, because I know what I need to do in order to be able to sustain this chaos, because chaos also starts the minute my kids get home, and it's just like mom and here and there and all the things, right? So in order for me to sustain the chaos, I know the things I need to do to stay sane and to stay chill. And so the night before, I was like, okay, I'm going to need to get up earlier. Like there's no excuse anymore, because in order for me to have that quiet time before kid kicks in, I need to have that precious time, which means I'm going to need to get up earlier, which means I'm going to have to commit, which means I'm going to have to like not snooze. So I just like mapped out that day before it happened. And I just like looked at my day, and I was like, okay, this is what needs to happen. This is like, I had everything mentally prepared, just like in stone of what was going to happen. And then I said this in the Marco Polo channel, but it felt like back in the day, my contest prep days, where the night before it was like, I'm not ready. Like tomorrow we start, but I'm not there yet. So I'm going to I know I'm doing all the things to prepare, but the light hadn't turned on yet. It was just like, yeah, I know it's tomorrow and I'll be ready tomorrow, but right now in this moment, I'm not ready. So that's what it felt like. It was like, I'm preparing, but I'm not there yet. Then 5:03, the alarm goes off, and I'm like, I'm ready. Like, let's go. Let's get up. I get to get up with the sunrise. And it was like, I had prepared myself for the best day ever. And so like, this is literally how my day went yesterday. So I woke up early. I set it for 5:03 because I wanted to have like 2 minutes of just like, I could do this. I could do this. And then I get up, and like, it was just so blissful and peaceful, and I had my time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how much I loved this time, like of getting up before the sun. I just was like, oh, like the thing that we dread ends up being the thing that we crave, right? Like we're reminded of that, but we don't know that thing that we crave unless we come out of it. Like sometimes we have to come out of it, like be in the summer, to be like, oh my gosh, I love that fall, like feels. I love putting on a t-shirt. Oh, this feels good. So anyway, so I wake up, like literally made lunches the night before. So I was like, I was ready. Like I'm good. So lunches the night before, like everything went super, super smooth. I drop off was early. I had the best swim. I had the best flow. I had the best, like everything was just like it was just great. It was like amazing. And then I had a really productive day. I got to talk to 2 amazing G-Fit girls on a Zoom. Shout out to Jenny. Shout out to Jennifer Griffin. It was amazing. I was like, it was good. Okay. And then I pick up my kids, and I was early, and I had so much time in my day. Okay. And the point of this conversation is not to say, oh yay, Gina, you had like the best day. Okay. I had a really bad day yesterday, and you're just kind of rubbing it in. No. The point of this conversation is to remind you that you too can map out your day and make it whatever you want it to be. But it comes with you taking that time to execute. So whether your kids are going back to school, whether you're doing a job change, whether you're just like have been off the wagon and need to 3, 2, 1 pull it together, whatever it is, in this moment right now, like after this live, because I want you to be right here with me, you can grab your pen and paper and you can map out what that's going to look like. If you know that this and this and this and this and this needs to get done, what time are you going to do this? And you might need to wake up a little early. You might need to go to, no, we don't want to go to bed later, but you might need to, like, you know, stop scrolling on the gram. You might need to shift a few things so that you can get it all in, but you are in control of that. So the whole point of this conversation is it was just the best day because I felt empowered, right? And that's what this is all about. It's like, yes, we love to eat healthy. Yes, we love to work out. Yes, we like all these things, right? But the beauty of all of this is that there's no better feeling than feeling empowered and feeling like we've got this and feeling like the storm can go on, but in the midst of that storm, here we are just like having the best day ever. And so it was just like, oh, it was so good because there's just something empowering, because I could have slept in. I could have been like, school's starting, I guess I'm gonna have to be on the back burner, and you know, it's gonna, like, no, like, it just blows my mind. And I'm like watching, kind of witnessing too, like the situation and like the drop off and like the moms who have their hair like all crazy with their mugs, and I'm like, you know, thinking about like what my day looks like, and then potentially, and I don't want to judge because I don't know, maybe they went and crushed their workout and that's just what they look like, and I have no idea, but I just am hearing a lot of like the noise of like, oh my god, my kids are going back to school, and just kind of like the cloudiness and the frustration and the like woe is me, and what am I gonna do, and I've lost myself, and like, but it doesn't have to be that way, right? If we just like take that ownership of our own day and ownership of our own schedule and move it around. Like, I didn't step into my kids' space. I just woke up earlier so that I had my space. And remember MySpace? Crazy. And so it's just that reminder that stop looking outside and like blaming other things for you just getting in your own way. Like, stop blaming a season, a person, a relationship, a diet. Like, it is not any of that. It's just the fact that you have not gotten out of your own way. And the only way that you get out of your own way is you say enough is enough. I felt like a hot mess, and this literally, I was like, Gina, you gotta pull it together. Like, you gotta pull it together. Come on. And I took action. I executed on those feelings that I had versus just kind of getting sucked into them. And I think that so many people get sucked into like the woe or the storm or whatever it is, but they forget that you are the one that gets to own your day. You're the one that gets to like get back in the driver's seat, and it just feels so good. So when we talk about confidence and all the different things, and how do we feel empowered, and how do we get back on track, and how do we regain that momentum, that's literally where it begins. It's just owning your day. And how do you do that? You execute a plan that you map out for yourself based on your schedule, not my schedule, but your schedule. So with that being said, it was just a really rocking day, and today's no different. So super proud. High five. Proud of each of you for like hearing this and like being like, yes, I need to come up with a plan, because that's where your success is going to lie. Okay. And then also to remember that like, just because you have your plan doesn't mean it's going to go according to plan every single time. Remember, but that's where this week's mantra comes into good use. So if you don't have this book, you need to get it. I don't know what you're waiting for, because even if you may have heard the mantra before, it always comes at you differently. You hear it differently. You read it differently, because when you hear something versus how you read something, you retain it differently. And so, and even I, like, even though these are coming from me, every time I read it, I get something different out of it. And it literally was so crazy. This Sunday, I opened up my book and I was like, calmness in the chaos. No way is this mantra, because this mantra is like meant for me. And that's how it always works. And so it just so happened that with the school, and then we have this hurricane that we were supposed to have that never happened, and it was like a beautiful Sunday with very light rain. But anyways, it just reminded me that like, how do we find that calmness in the midst of chaos? And so I read my own words, and it was just like, yes, it was just such a good reminder. So I wanted to just kind of go through these bullet points with you real quick. You probably have read it. I know you've read it. You've journaled on it. You've heard it. You've done all the things, right? Right? Okay. So, but even if you have or you haven't, we're going to go through it again because it's really, really powerful. And these are ways that I keep that calm in the midst of the storm. Okay. So the first bullet point is like recognizing what's happening, like recognizing I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling stressed out. Like, remember how I said I recognize like I'm a hot mess. Like this is craziness. So number one is recognizing it, because if you don't recognize it, you just, I don't know, you just are experiencing this without realizing what's going on. So number one, you have to recognize, okay, this is the feeling that I'm having. I'm owning that feeling. And then going into letting go of the ideal that's causing these feelings. Like, what is causing these feelings? Like, what actually is the root cause of these feelings? Because it's not her, it's not him, it's not that, it is internally, right? So then you've got to let go of like, what is this root cause? Okay, cool. It's kids going back to school, like I'm feeling all the things. Then you have to trust that truly, so often, this is just a made up story. Like, why did I create this story that because the kids are going back to school? Is it because now all over the, social media and everywhere I'm seeing like the mommy crazy and all the stories that are being told about, yeah, when your kids go back and or summer and this is how it's supposed to be, like all of these stories. So you have to trust that, okay, this is just a story. What if I said, totally rewrote the story? So trusting, then you just got to surrender to the situation. Here we're kind of like plugging in a TSL in here, trust, surrender, let go. So you got to surrender to like, this is the way it is, right? This is it. This is what I'm feeling. This is the situation that I'm in. It's summer, it's happening, whatever it is, just surrender. Like, rather than fight it, because what good is that fighting going to do? You just have to be like, okay, I can feel like a hot mess, but guess what? Tomorrow's a new day. And remember, this is the next one, that nothing is permanent. This too shall pass, and always does. Always does. Like, look it, I was hot mess, and now I'm like, cool, I'm good, I got this. Take a breath. Like, that breath was like, oh God, okay, cool, I'm gonna surrender to this. Take that breath. Then literally this next one is so powerful. Laugh. Like, in the midst of chaos, you can either cry or you can literally just laugh and like have like the loudest, craziest laugh ever, and all of a sudden everything just feels better. After a really good laugh, everything just feels lighter, it feels more clear. So laugh, and then use this mantra, of course, and then focus on what you can control, right? So like, I can't control that my kids are here, my dog is barking and all the different things, but I can control getting in me, getting in my workout, getting in my meals, focusing on my breathing, all those things I can control. And then the final one is, what is the lesson that I need to learn in this moment? What is the blessing? What is the beautiful lesson that I'm learning in this moment, so that I can remember this lesson for the next time I feel like a hot mess? Maybe I just need to remember, Gina, come on, get out of your own way. This will pass. It's normal. Whatever that lesson is for you in that moment, like, plant that lesson in your toolbox so that the next time it happens, you can remember, like, okay, so in every situation, there's always a lesson that we can learn. So remember that lesson. So that is this mantra. It was so beautiful, and it just reminded me to like, chill out. It's all good. You're gonna get back on track. Nothing's permanent. This too shall pass. It's all good, and it did. And so just remember that if you're maybe in the midst of a storm now, or maybe like next time, because storms are gonna come, right? We can't, like, even doing all the things that we're doing and breathing and all the things are still gonna come. How do we now manage it when it comes again? And being prepared, just like preparing for your day, being prepared with the tools is going to help you so that you can still maintain that calm in the midst of the crazy. All right, girls? So, yeah, some questions popping up over here. Okay, cool. Just a little bit of conversation going on with the sisterhood. Nice. Okay. So, what else did I want to say? Yeah, lots of good stuff. I think that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. I love seeing your faces here. We're back in action. Thanks for the hiatus last week. I just needed that. I needed that moment to just kind of like breathe, And so I wanted to make a little drink. I've made a version of this, the golden milk, in our app before, but again, something that I'm obsessed with, so I'm going to share it with you because it's helping me right now. In the second part of the day, I usually have a cup of coffee, and I haven't like had my cup of coffee in a while because I haven't needed it, because I've been taking something very special to my heart. It's called FLOCUS. Okay, this is something I'll be talking about a little bit later, but this is a beautiful new vitamin that have created, with all these incredible adaptogens to help you to reduce stress, to help initiate that flow state, to help you initiate focus, to help with memory, using all of these incredible adaptogens and plants, nothing but plants in this beautiful concoction. So we'll be talking more about FLOCUS, but ever since I've been taking FLOCUS, among all the other amazing benefits, one of them has been that I have not needed my cup of coffee in the afternoon. And it's crazy because I didn't really like, I would tell you that like, no, I don't need coffee. I don't need that energy in the afternoon. But now I'm realizing, oh my gosh, I totally was relying on coffee to get me through the second part of the afternoon. And now, ever since taking FLOCUS, I have such this great sustained energy and focus throughout the day that I don't need that cup of coffee to get me back into my flow state. Because that's literally what would happen is like in the afternoon, I'm like, I'm good in the morning. Like right now, you're catching me like good in flow, right? But then what would happen is as the afternoon would move on, I would kind of lose that. Is very normal, like very normal, right? Especially if you're getting up early, like many of us. I would lose that state of focus. And then I would like get into this like foggy state, but I still had things to do. So then I would drink a cup of coffee, and I'd be like, good to go. Like, all right, we're back. Gina's back. And so now, because I've been on taking FLOCUS, and I am focused, I don't have that need for the cup of coffee. And so I realized this like just recently. I was like, whoa, I haven't had my second cup of coffee, and I haven't even thought about it. Like I've just been like chilling all day and flowing. And then like I'm like, okay, recognizing this is interesting. And then like last weekend there was a baseball game, and I was like thinking I wanted coffee because it was kind of chilly out, and I was like, I just want to go home and get myself a cup of coffee. And I came home and I was like, I don't even want coffee. Like I'm good. And trust me, I'm not trying to get rid of coffee. I love my coffee. But it was just an interesting like observation of like, I'm good. Like I've got this sustained bit of flow that I don't need coffee to get me into this flow state. And so I was like, but I want something warm to take back to the game with me. So I was like, I want to have some golden milk. And so today I wanted to share with you this little bit of this golden milk concoction that I've been having now that I don't need my coffee, but I still love that like sipper, right? So we're gonna make some golden milk, and I've just been loving this in the afternoon instead of my coffee. And the beautiful thing about the golden milk is that it has all of the benefits to help reduce inflammation. If you know about turmeric, which all of you know about turmeric at this point, if you don't, this is going to be a reminder. Turmeric is an amazing seasoning for reducing inflammation, okay? Because there's two things that we really want to be careful of, which is inflammation in our body, which causes disease, and stress. And actually they're very linked and related. So we want to be careful that we don't have these heightened states of stress, and that we're reducing inflammation in our body so that we can heal, so that we can avoid sickness, because sickness really truly stems from a state of inflammation, which is caused by stress, okay? So with FLOCUS, you reduce stress, you maintain flow state. If any of you have been in my academy, you know all about this state. That's the goal of our life and of the GFIT Academy, is to get into this constant state of flow where all things just feel easy and effortless. And that's where your body responds. That's where you're able to absorb nutrients. That's where you're able to have clarity and focus. And so when you combine like the ability to get into this state with anti-inflammatory foods and different like this golden milk, is like amazing for the anti-inflammatory effects. So it's like, why not? Because we're always trying to be like purposeful, right? So like if we're wanting something warm, it's like, why not have like a tea with benefits? Like, or, you know, like a lot of teas have the L-tyrosine, which is in FLOCUS, that will help you to kind of like reduce that state of angst. And so if we can be purposeful with the things that we're consuming and like make it like a functional food, right? Just like functional medicine. Like if it has a purpose for us, not only is it like satisfying that want for just something warm or that little craving in the afternoon, just something to sip on, but it also has function in our bodies and how we respond to things, then why not? So inflammation is horrible, okay? The good news is if you're living our lifestyle with GFIT, we're doing all the things to reduce inflammation. We're eating anti-inflammatory foods. We're staying away from processed foods. We're staying away from sugars. We're staying away from as much of like the internal grocery store aisles as possible so that we can stick to real foods. So we're doing all the things. We're moving our body. We're drinking our water. We're focusing on mindfulness. Like these are all the things that help to, keep us in a really calm state and to reduce inflammation. And there are things that we can add into our diets that will also help to kind of like keep things I don't want to say at bay. That's not at bay. We want to get to the root of the problem. It'll help keep things like bring down inflammation so that we can benefit from all of the things that we are doing. Okay. So turmeric is like an amazing one. You can just add it to your chicken, add it to seasonings, like add just a pinch in here, pinch in there. Or we're going to make this yummy drink today. Oh, forgot about this one little concoction. Okay, so we can make this yummy drink that has such incredible benefits, okay? So what I've been doing is I've been making this little mixture in a little jar, and I'm going to get back to the comments here if there's any, just so you know I'm not ignoring you. It's just that I want to focus on one thing at a time because I've realized that I lose my focus when I'm scattered. Okay, so I've been making this in this little mason jar, and it's very, very easy to make. I want to forewarn you, however, when you do make this, either wear gloves or just be prepared for the stain that turmeric has on your skin, okay? So normally I have gloves when I do this because it really doesn't come out. It doesn't come out of your nails, it doesn't come out. Like, it just doesn't. So I'm just going to eye this and I'll put the recipe perfectly in the app, but it's about 2 tablespoons of turmeric. And then we're going to put in some ginger. So because I've been having this all the time, I've just been making it in this little mason jar. So then I mix it all together and then I can add it into my tea. All right. So then a little bit of ginger. So ginger too is just another incredible ingredient to add in. So this whole concoction is like, so good. So good and so functional. All right, so we did the ginger. I have 2 types of gingers here. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of clove. So I know some people are like, really, clove? Yeah, so clove, especially with the fall coming up, it just has like a really warm flavor to it. So I've been adding in a little bit of clove. You could do cinnamon if you want. Okay. It's not really coming out here. That's why I'm like, ooh, okay. A little bit of clove in there. Now a couple key ingredients. I add a little bit of black pepper into my mixture, and black pepper and turmeric together helps with the absorption. So, and same here in the FLOCUS, you'll see black pepper, and the reason for the black pepper is to help with the absorption of the plants, to help with the absorption of the ingredients, okay? So I always add a little bit of black pepper. So if you're cooking with turmeric, make sure you add pepper to it. It's like, why not? It just boosts it, right? So we're gonna add a little bit of black pepper. And then what I've been doing too is putting a little tiny pinch of salt inside, just because salt, again, brings out the flavor, okay? Doesn't have anything to do with the absorption. It just kind of punches the flavor up a bit, okay? So then there's my little mixture. And then I put this all together. So I'm like creating my own little powder. And then finally, I add a little bit of stevia, and you can use whatever sweetener of choice that you want in there. Just, of course, no sugar. Okay, so now this is ready to go. So then this, just like Dandy Blend, will sit in my cabinet, and I've got this for my afternoon tea. All right, so we're gonna now make the tea. So I'm gonna do about a good heaping tablespoon or so of that. And then I'm gonna add apple cider vinegar. So just a little bit of apple cider vinegar helps keep the blood sugar stable. It's incredible for you. So this is like a seriously really incredible afternoon functional sipper. So just a little bit of ACV, okay? Then just a tiny bit of lemon, okay? So lemon, now we're also kind of alkalizing the blood, okay? So there we go. Like my mug? Okay, there's that. So now, almost done. Okay, I am going to do one quick little thing here. Sorry. Okay, then now I'm going to add in some hot water. Okay, so I'm going to put some hot water into there. Just, you know, about halfway, maybe about a half a cup of hot water or so. And I'm just going to let that kind of seep right there. So good. And again, be very careful, because now even if you like master not getting the stain on your hands, you don't want to spill this on yourself because it will stain. Okay. All right. And then I have some almond milk. Okay. So this is where we're going to get the almond milk. Unsweetened almond milk, just about, it's not going to be very much, like maybe a half a cup or so. And I've got another obsession. I've got this little cool frother, and you literally just go like this. Does anyone have one of these? These are so cool. And you just press the button. I think they're like $12 or something ridiculously cheap. And I'm just frothing up my almond milk, and I heated it up. So I'm just frothing it up. It obviously doesn't froth the same as like a milk, but it still froths and it's still perfect. So I just heated that up, and dun, dun, dun. I mean, this is actually even just to froth up some milk when you're having almond milk in your program. It's yummy that way, and then it also kind of expands it and kind of gives it a little bit more volume. Okay. So now I'm just going to pour the warm almond milk over top. I wish you could see it here. Actually, I'm going to pour this down so you can see it. Look at this. So now I'm just going to pour this right on top. And then I'm going to add a little bit of clove or cinnamon. I'm going to do a little bit of the cinnamon just for the little bit of, you know, appearance. And then there we have the delicious golden milk. And so this has been my afternoon sipper. It's like a latte. So good. And so I've just been loving this in the afternoon, and it's amazing. Like it's like replaced my cup of coffee, and I didn't even wasn't even trying to remove coffee, but it just kind of happened. Cool. So, yes. Okay. So amen to FLOCUS. I already have some girls that are getting FLOCUSed. It's pretty incredible, amazing stuff. Got lion's mane, ashwagandha, L-theanine, GABA, all good stuff. And here's one more plug for FLOCUS, and we'll talk more about it because this is just like the initial time that I've even said it publicly, because this has been my passion project. Because again, I was like coming from a place of like overwhelm, like just, I don't know, like before kids, I felt like I got this, right? Like I was like, check boxes, all good. Never had a text message in my inbox, in my phone, never had an email. Like everything was like comes in, goes out, comes in, goes out. And then all of a sudden you have kids, and then all of a sudden like technology is like booming at its all-time high. And I was like spinning. What I like couldn't handle it. Like I just, something about my DNA, like I'm very much an old soul. Like I really am. I just can't, even now, it's like, I have to really be mindful of how much information I bring into my space, or I lose it. And so you all know I went and learned how to meditate, because my husband, he's like, you know, Gina, I think this would be really good for you. Like, and again, I'm not like, I wasn't going crazy. I wasn't going to lose my mind, but I was just like, I just need help being able to like handle reality, because reality is like kind of crazy, AKA technology, right? And so then I go and that's when I started my like stillness practice, my meditation practice, all of that. And then I was like, this is beautiful, like amazing. But then I would step into life and I was like, whoa. So I was like, how can we be able to like keep those stillness feels and work them into the rest of our day? Because as I know, and as I teach, and as I preach, and as like truth is that everything comes from flow. And if we're anxious and we're high stressed, then we're not in flow state, and nothing we do is going to have the same impact. And it's definitely not going to feel good, right? So anyways, so that's where I was like, when in doubt, turn to nature. Nature always has the answers. Nature always has your back, right? Nature is everything. And in this later part of my journey, I've really tuned into nature. Like, there's been a lot of questionable things that have happened in the past several years, and I'm like, whoa, this doesn't make sense. But what I do know makes sense is that tree right there, if you water it, it will grow. If you don't water it, it's not going to grow, right? So I was like, okay, I got to turn, like, nature, and like there's so many medicinal medicines out there that are like in your backyard. So there goes Gina, like, doing all her research. Oh, and from doing all of my coaching with my one-on-one clients, I realized how many people are struggling with the same situation. How many people are struggling to keep their zen in the midst of life, okay? There's a lot of variables here. And so stress is through the roof. And we all know that if your cortisol levels are up here, that, like, you are potentially at the risk of injury, of sickness, of losing your mind, like all of the things, right? So that's where I was like, okay, like, I need this, my clients need this. We all know that we need to get into this state of flow in order for anything that we're doing to work, but not only work, to feel good, like to feel like like that alone, just to feel ease, okay? So I turned to nature and I started doing all my research of, like, okay, what are the different adaptogens that are out there that can help to reduce this? And every single one that's in FLOCUS here is, I mean, do your own research. And I want to have, like, clinical studies eventually to show, like, to prove these are all, like, reduces anxiety, reduces cortisol, helps get you into the flow state, helps you focus, increases memory. Like lion's mane. Have you ever heard of lion's mane? It's like, I'm sure you have. Like, lion's mane has magical effects on the brain. So anyways, I, worked some magic, and I created this beautiful blend that I have just, like, it's been my passion project because it's, like, something that everybody needs. Mental health is, like, through the roof, and we need, like, as much assistance as we can from Mother Nature, not from Dr. Nature. Like, we need, like, true things that can heal us. And here's the other thing. I really wasn't expecting this live to go here, but just roll with me. This is what happens when you're focused. Okay. So the other thing is that, we tend to, like, everyone is always out there prescribing all these things and not getting to the root of the issue. And so I'm all about, like, how can we get to the root of the issue? And I've mastered the body. Like, I've kind of figured out the physical components, right? I figured out, like, okay, eating for purpose. Like, I've really kind of mastered this element. And then I'm like, okay, well, like, if our goal in the GFit world and the GFit lifestyle is to constantly be bettering ourselves, remember that whole Kaizen, constant improvement. All right, you've mastered this. I'm not saying, okay, I shouldn't say mastered, but I feel like I've got this going on, okay? Like, I'm not saying me, I'm saying the structure, like how we roll our days out, less is more, all of that. That's what I'm referring to. So now, if we want to constantly be a better version of ourselves, now how can we master, or how can we up level our brain? Because it all starts here, hence the mantras, right? It all starts in our brain. How can we, if we're not focused to do the things over here, how are we going to end up doing the things, right? And so that's kind of been my whole mission, and it's like been now it's like my passion of, like, helping people to calm the nervous system, to stop being so flippin' stressed out, and to be able to, like, ease the mind so that we can, like, be chill in the midst of the calm, or chill in the midst of the storm. And that's really, like, it's crazy how this whole mantra, like, came about this week, because that's really how I feel when I'm focused. Is I just feel like I got this. Like, I feel like, okay, like, I just feel chill. Okay, like, just super chill, and just one thing at a time. This can wait. And the beautiful thing is that what adaptogens do is they meet you where you are. So if you're somebody who suffers from depression or who suffers from anxiety, it's going to help you with those areas. If you're somebody who suffers from just, like, overwhelm, like me, then it's going to help you to just, like, chill out so you're not so overwhelmed. And so the way adaptogens work is, like, if you can imagine, like, a furnace, like an air conditioning unit, right? Like a temperature gauge. What do you call it? A furnace. Okay. if you set it for 69, if your body's at, if the room temperature is 69, it's not going to kick into gear, right? It's just going to like, you're good. You're like, everything's kosher. Like you're good. You're chilling. You're good. But if the temperature goes up to 75 or 72 or 70, then the air conditioning is going to kick in to bring you back down to 69, right? Or if you drop below 69, then the heat's going to kick in to bring you back to 69, to bring you back into that state of flow, to bring you back into homeostasis. And so that's the beautiful thing of adaptogens. They adapt to your body. And anyways, so I've just been on like this super high, just having so much fun, like learning all about this kind of stuff. And again, coming back to nature and what's real, because what we know is what's real is what works. So I'm like totally sorry I went off on a crazy long tangent today, but that's, again, that's just real, right? It's just, you never know what you're going to get with Gina. That's for sure. But what you know is you're going to always get real conversations. All right. Love it. Janet, I need to get a frother. Yes, you do. I'll put the link to this one below. This, like, you just a little button here and you just froth it up and it's game changer. Janet, I love it. We're going to have to get some more like testimonials on how you're feeling, because there's a few of you who are FLOCUS. Janet's FLOCUSed. Tina, I know's FLOCUSed. Who else is on here? Tanya's FLOCUSed. Gina Marie, she's FLOCUSed. So yeah, and I love like hearing how everyone's doing, because I'm telling you girls, if we can now, like, we've got all this area going on, like you got your workouts done right now, but if we can like be able to just kind of chill, you know, and like be able to sustain life off of your mat, life off of your GFit mat, life off of your meditations. I mean, we're literally like living a life that everybody wants to live, and they have the invitation to come live, but we're literally living that life now of, I don't even know what you call it, just bliss, right? Like, let everything else happen, and then we just kind of are in our little cozy bubble while we, you know, we're just kind of doing our thing over here and it's working. And so yeah, it's just super beautiful. We have the control and the power within us, and now it is our duty to spread it to the world so that we can try to heal ourselves and everyone else around us. All right, ladies, thank you for being here with me. Yeah, that was really fun. I was just expecting to talk about our mantra and then share this amazing golden milk with you, but apparently we just had some fun today. So give this a try. It's delicious. And I will be putting the recipe inside the app so you have all the exact ingredients. And if you love it as much as I do, then just make yourself a little jar so you don't have to mix it all up each time, and you can just take a tablespoon and then add it into your cup. All right, girls, so have an incredible day, and I cannot wait to connect with you real soon.